I wanted to explain a little clearer how to complete the perfectly adapted species mini project for this unit. When you come into the lesson, you'll see some instructions up top, and down at the bottom, you'll see a video, and that video explains animal adaptations, things that animals have that help them survive in the environment that they live in. So, for instance, if you think about a whale, you know, to live in a water environment, that thing has to have fins, it's got to have flippers, it has to have a very streamlined body and a flipper like tail, a blowhole up at the top of its head so it doesn't have to come completely out of the water in order to breathe. All of those things are adaptations that the whale has to survive in a watery environment. If you think about a polar bear, you know, that white color is not just there by accident. That's an adaptation for living on the ice. There's snow up there and ice almost all year round. And if it was a black bear or a brown bear up there in the polar ice caps, things could see it coming from miles away. There's no way it could ever sneak up on anything and get, lunch. So that white coloration on the polar bear helps it sneak up on things up there, stay camouflaged. That's an adaptation. So that's what you're doing in the Adapted Species Mini Project. You're coming up with some adaptations for a creature that you're designing yourself. This is something that you're imagining and then drawing for me. So when you get into, let me show you that again, what I just clicked. When you get into the lesson, go down to the bottom of the page. If you click the Google Slides I put there, now I think you got confused when you looked at these because you were trying to think about too many things at once. These are all options that you can choose from. You don't have to do something with every one of them. You only have to pick one. And you can pick the world that you want to design your little creature to be adapted to. So each world that I've created here on the slide will have a picture that goes with it and then a description right below the picture. That description is describing the harsh conditions that something would have to survive if it lived in that world. So for like lava world here, there's toxic gas clouds, there's lava eruptions, there's hot surfaces, there's powdery ash that you would have to wade through on the ground. So those are the harsh conditions for that environment. And each one of these environments has its own harsh conditions. Now, some of them I think are harder than others. I think the two easiest ones, I think, and the ones I kind of like most are the sticky candy world, just because it's a happy looking place, and then the haunted world. So I'll show you some animals that people have adapted to those places. Now, sticky candy world, it's got chocolate syrup on the surface, so it's hard to walk. You have to be able to crack open the lollipops to get food. There's occasionally rain where it rains down Skittles at real high speeds, and that might hit you in the head real hard. So you have to have, your creature has to have adaptations that help it survive those conditions. And I'll show you one that somebody created I thought was kind of funny. This little guy here is something that someone came up with. It's a little dragon-like thing, and it escapes the chocolatey syrup by being able to fly. It doesn't have to walk around. It can just fly around. And in order to get away from the Skittle rain that could hurt its head, it's got this bubble over the top of its head, which will deflect the Skittles falling on it and keep it from hurting its head. So there's one for Candy World. I can show you a couple for Haunted World too. That's another one of my favorite ones. So you have to design a creature here that can't easily be frightened and can get away from zombies and werewolves and vampires that might chase it and try to bite it, and get away from trees that might try to grab it and crows that might try to pick it up and take it back to witches who are trying to cook it up into a pie, right? So some people have solved that problem by creating little creatures that have adaptations for that world. Here's one that someone designed, and in order to get away from the vampires and werewolves, it has this natural bad smell about it. It smells really bad, and so nothing wants to get near it. So there's one adaptation. It's got big ears, so it can hear things coming. It can hear the trees moving, hear the crows coming, so it doesn't get surprised by them. And then it's got slime feet, which makes it very quiet when it walks through the forest, so nothing can hear it shuffling around. So those are really good adaptations for that haunted world. I'll show you another one that somebody designed for that world. Same world, but a different creature that somebody else made. And this one, it kind of looks like a rock. It kind of looks like some plants on the ground. And when it gets scared, it can crunch its body down, kind of like an armadillo, and hide as if it were a rock with some little twigs sticking out of it. So things don't recognize it when they walk up on it. It just looks like a rock laying on the ground. And then it's got a nose that can spew weed killer to keep those trees from being able to grab it. So that's what you're doing. You're dreaming up. This is out of your own imagination. You're dreaming up a little creature you think could survive those worlds and drawing it, taking a picture of it, and then attaching it to the lesson. Now, let me show you how to do that. Once you've got a picture and you've taken a picture, just lay your picture on the floor like this person has, snap a picture of it, and then inside the lesson, back up top here, right here. Now, you won't see it on mine because I'm the teacher, so it doesn't appear on mine, but right up top here, you'll see a little button that says Add or Create, and you'll click that, and then you'll click the File button to upload the picture file from your computer. And if you attach that to the lesson, I'll be able to see it then. You can also just put the picture in an email if that's easier for you and email it to me. But that's what you're doing. You're just creating a little creature that you think could survive one of those worlds. And people have come up with a dozen weird little examples for that, which I thought were pretty clever. So I'm looking forward to seeing yours. Let me know if you have any trouble or need any more explanations of anything. And we'll talk to you later. See ya.